Good day, lords and ladies of the internet. I am your host today, the Parafox Archangel, the English gentleman of the internet, and I welcome you back to the library of Ruina. Well, last time we had a bunch of glitches, which made it so that I couldn't do the thing I intended to do last time, but I recorded the big giant cutscene in front of it, none the same. So enjoy that while I play the game. It's already been about 3 days. Then we should still try to pull ourselves together, even if the situation has reached this point. Continuing to sulk like this would only lead our office to ruin, and that's definitely not something the boss would want to see, right? This point? What are you talking about? I can understand your feelings, but how are you still able to just stand here and make light of all this? Did everyone's sacrifices not matter to you at all? Yeah, I should have seen it sooner. The deaths of your companions never really mattered to you, right? Even when it was him, you still remained indifferent. Everything's so insignificant to you. Looks like even a kid like you could see through me. Surely, guess I'm still too obvious. Yes, everything is just as you said. It just so happened that the gentleman who was kind to me is no longer here, so naturally there's no need for me to stay here any longer. So, get out! As you wish. Take care, then. And then he pulls out an invitation. Oh dear lord. Is this... Hey, why is this being shown to us again? There's no way this kid will end up like that Philip guy if he's just going to hole up in that office. You only need to focus on receiving our guests and sorting the books. Why do you need to care about such things? Well, I've coming a long way as a fixer myself, you know. Even I still feel a little uncomfortable when witnessing such a scene. But it seems that fixer named Glenn kept the invitation in secret. That boy who was left behind did not seem to know about it. There's a bunch of impulsive hotheads out there who think they can bear all of the burden if they end up failing to handle a commission. They then try to look for a way to undo what's happened. But it tends to never really end well for them. The idea of them coming back here is beyond any logical thoughts. They still plan to return despite the sacrifices their colleagues desperately made to cover their escape. As I've said before, most of these fixers are people who've been pulled from a life and death situation by their boss, so it's no surprise that they're willing to die for him. But this Glenn guy doesn't really look like some greenhorn. Think he'll get some serious help? Indeed. The invitation seems to point to the other guests as well, so let's keep watching. Alas, I never expected it to be delivered to me. Boss, sure enough, you're still... Muttering any more like this is futile at this point. But there's no way I can get that kid Ven involved again. But the big question is, how am I going to talk to that fine gentleman later? Man... How did I find myself in this crappy place again, even though I've been blindly wandering? Jessica. One more step and I'll have your head cut off, Glenn. Troyes, you bastard. You're still with the Index. Just how did I end up seeing you as soon as I got to this place? It's been a long time seeing you today. It's been a long time, and seeing you today must be some really bad luck. Talk all you want. I only remain on standby here because the prescript wills it. Are you still following these meaningless things? I will always follow the prescript. That is the only meaning to my existence. Unlike a certain individual who turned his back on his faith midway and fled in such a hurry. I was honestly taken aback when I first heard the news of your desertion, but I never did receive any prescripts to hunt you down. Pity. If you're looking for a fight, I'm happy to oblige.
Before that, let me finish today's prescript. Your assumption is slightly correct. My prescript for today has something to do with you.
Finally, it's time, so draw your sword.
Catch.
Are these...
Remember them? They have been kept by me ever since you turned your back on the prescripts.
Why?
Here.
To Troy. Bring the traitors' weapons to Block 51 and give them to the 19th person you see.
These fucking prescripts. I suppose this too must be the will of the prescripts. Even if you betray the prescripts, it never truly leaves you for good. Maybe it even...
What a joke. If the prescripts are absolute as you say. But why? Why do they still want more?
My prescript for today does not include becoming your counselor. Now that the prescript has been carried out, let's say goodbye here, Glenn. I hope to see you again.
I vowed to completely destroy any traces of my past. But in the end, was it still within the expectation of the prescripts? These blades still make me sick to this day. They took her away from me, smashing the meager bits of happiness I had left.
Ooh, he's changed his name to Index Proxy. Ooh.
But right now, looks like these swords might just come in handy. Just might come in handy. Even if it is to repay the boss for saving my life. Yeah, he's one of the few good people left in this city. I was finally able to get rid of the nightmare that had been lingering in my mind for so long thanks to everyone at the office. They've let me feel the warmth of home again after losing her. Jessica, if you were by my side right now, you would definitely be supporting me. I see. Now, let's go and meet some old friends. I never expected this guy to formally be an Index Proxy.
Is there anything strange about that?
Of course! You know how crazy those guys at the Index are, right? That guy was able to run away from that hellhole unharmed and got to live freely ever since. He even found work in an office and got to where he is now. I'm a little curious as to what he's been through.
Then why don't you carefully read through his book later so you'll understand? We have already received him as a guest before, and I believe you'll be able to properly finish it smoothly this time as well.
Easy for you to say. He probably won't come alone.
The invitation is showing displaying visions again. Let us keep watching.
Ramia family boss. The higher-ups really hosted a summit at a time like this? I mean, does the old man from the Kumo clan have any issues on what's going on?
I heard that it's got something to do with the succession of the previous Sato Capo who died in this area. It's getting late. Let's go in first.
We've suffered a lot of losses ever since we lost contact with the Sato Capo and his Cape. After that massive attack launched by the Index, I was left with less than 30% of the available personnel under my command.
The situation on our side isn't looking optimistic as well. There's just no time for us to count the dead and wounded.
The summit is about to start. How come the other families haven't arrived yet until now? Counting us, only about 6 families are present.
Look at all the absent positions. Solozzo, Stracazzi, Taranglia, and Barzini. Those families all seem to be...
Greetings! Sunny, Thumb Soto Capo.
Thank you for participating in the Thumb Summit, everyone. Despite suffering such a heavy blow, it appears that it's still possible for the families to gather. Although I personally don't like red tape, let me first express my gratitude to all the families who went out of their busy schedules to attend this event. You must all be aware of the purpose of this summit.
Oh, you're an innocent, sinister-looking position.
In light of the fact that the previous Sapato and his Cape who managed this place have all died as martyrs, as the only remaining capo in this area, the Capo de Capi has assigned me to take over the duties of the previous Soto Capo of this place, so the summit was held to inform you all. Starting now, I will take over as the Thumb Sotto Capo in El Corp's Nest, along with the city's southern region.
Yes, Sotto Capo.
Since I have now been raised to the position of Sotto Capo, I will not be able to make do without the cooperation of your families in the coming future. I am already aware of the hard and tiring work the various families have been doing in the recent days. Everyone from the Kurokomo clan, you have all still managed to fulfill your duties during such a critical period and fended off many of the enemy's attacks. I hope you can continue to exert your remaining strength in the future. I believe your territory can be expanded by at least 20%. Yes, we'll do our best for the Capo di Capi and the Sotto Capo.
Solo Zorro cartel boss. Wait, please tell this to the underboss for me. This matter has absolutely nothing to do with me. Go to hell and repent for your sins there.
Friends from the Ramia family, I thank you for the enormous amount of money.
Oh, I missed that one.
Friends of the Ramia family, I thank you for the enormous amount of money you have given to rebuilding what was destroyed after the war. I think you'll be able to handle the financial operations of the southern region in the future.
It is our duty to do so. We will do our best in the future and can continue to dedicate ourselves to the cause of the Capo di Capi. Stress City family boss. Damn bastards! We're all gonna die just because of this damn thing! This should be the last one, alright? Wrap up the team!
There were many other families who held their ground during the Index's assault. They fought to the last man. Hats off to them for their sacrifices.
Hats off to the fallen families. To carry a family boss.
He's but some outlasted morning dog, and now he would dare to pretend to take over the title of Sotto Capo under the Capo di Capi's name?
The new Sotto Capo sends his regards, motherfucker.
The distribution of the positions within each family will be readjusted shortly after we clean up a little amidst all this chaos. The Thumb is about to reclaim all the areas that have been stained by the presence of those no longer needed. Give the scum who would dare to sully our territory a head-on blow.
Yes, Sotto Capo! There's still several of us left. Are you really trying to start a full-scale civil war here? If you dare to even kill me.
So, come in. Sotto Capo, all the traitors you named have been wiped out. Please, give us your next instructions. Well done. Go, and have some rest first. I believe that the Thumb will only be more united and stronger after we finish weeding out all these revolting vermin. I hope all of you will continue to serve us well in the future. That's all I have to say. The summit is over. You may leave on your own. Report on the current status.
All the tasks you've given have been completed. The Solzo cartel, the Straskiski family, the Talgari family, and all who seeked to plot against us have all been purged.
What about that old fellow, Barzini?
Executed by my own hand, as you ordered.
Everything seems to be going well. You're not hurt, are you?
Thank you for your concern, but I'm fine.
Those guys used to unite to ostracize us. They would even slander us to our superiors for that dangerous mission we previously took. But what these idiots never saw coming was that this would eventually turn out to be our opportunity.
So they deserve to end up where they are now. Report to the Sotto Capo. There is a fixer visiting who claims to be your acquaintance, and is asking to see you by name.
Let him in. Why are you here all of a sudden?
Long time no see, Mr. Glenn. The information on the families you provided to us before has been a big help. Hello, Sonny. Sotto Capo.
No need for such elaborate formalities. Just say what you have to say.
I'm here this time to discuss a matter regarding the Cold Sun office.
What happened to Mr. Liu? I heard back then that you guys were going to that library, right?
We lost almost everybody, even Yu Yi.
I understand. I am very sorry to hear such unfortunate news. So, my friend, what can I do for you?
Sotto Capo Sonny, I wonder if you can, for the sake of upholding our friendship in the past, send someone to assist me in taking back Yu Yi's book.
So that's it. What? Aren't you going to wag your tail to the Manor Association who usually subsidizes and promotes your office? Instead, you would rather ask for help from someone on the opposite side, me, a Sotto Capo of the Sun? Of the Thumb?
You. Do you still have to ridicule me if you really don't want to lend a hand to an old friend in the past? Looks like you've forgotten what me and Yu Yi have done for you. Farewell. God damn it, bunch of ungrateful bastards. They clearly received so much help from the boss, and yet this time none of them want to repay the favor. Even that guy, Sonny.
I don't recall saying I never wanted to be involved in this, did I?
You should at least have some control over your emotions, especially at a time like this, no? The Sotto Capo and the Capo actually condensed to stop me, a fixer.
Now, we're talking to you as your old friends, aren't we? Do you understand what sort muddy waters you're about to drag us down into if we did this?
The previous Sotto Capo was assigned to this place died in the library, and sending men into the library when we recently just finished a war with the Index isn't exactly a realistic thing to do. I never assumed to get a lot of assistance from the Thumb anyway. It's just that I hope that you can at least help me out a little bit here.
Let me explain to you first. There are many people above who have their eyes on the library. We can't just rashly go there without a direct order from our superiors, not to mention the complicated situation we're currently in right now. As of this moment, there is nothing I can do to help.
Surely it is wrong to expect help from others.
But things are still subject to change. You'd better go back and wait for now. At least clean up that wretched face of yours and then come back to knock on the door again for help after some time. Don't give me that look. The previous Sotto Capo turned into a book in the library. It's not gonna come as a surprise that they will eventually assign me to recover it. But I don't know if that time will be sooner or later. Since we share the same destination, it shouldn't be unreasonable to bring you along with us. After all, I'm not that ungrateful, am I?
So
I told you. Wait. I can't bring our soldatos into the library without a direct order from my superiors.
What? Wait until when? Now you're just talking out of your ass. What's your tone, my friend?
Yu Yi's book will always be there. If you're really that anxious, then why not try to give it your all when the time finally comes? That's all I have to say. Think about it.
Even though I'm aware that a number of officers have some shady connection with the syndicates, this really is my first time seeing a Sotto Capo of the Thumb doing so hands-on. But this is the Thumb we're talking about. Unless their superiors give the direct order, then there's no chance that they're going to send out an army for this kind of thing.
That new Sotto Capo of theirs seems to have some bumps in his appointment process, right?
Some people won't admit to anything until they have an official letter from their superiors stuck in their face. No one wants to assign people at will in the city, let alone when it comes to their own interests. Though despite his looks and age, he was able to unite the remnants of the Thumb in the south and stabilize the situation so far. Looks like the way he does things has been really effective so far. And that Capo who accompanies him seems to be just as ruthless as he is. They're constantly moving from a sea of blood to a mountain of corpses. I really hope we don't have to ever meet them in the future. Fights that drag out are such a pain. Oh, the invitation shifted again. I wonder what we'll see next.
We just need to keep watching. Jesus Christ, this cutscene is long. Danding! So I'm really getting the hang of this, huh? Melor, as expected, Mr. Dan. It wasn't so difficult for you at all, was it? I told you I would eventually get it right.
Well, the first few times you were a complete mess.
Quantitative change is a prerequisite for qualitative change. Do you understand?
But this time, the teacher will be able to rest assured that we can stay here by ourselves and then can also spend the night here without any worries.
Yes, if the food aspect can also be solved, then the teacher will finally be able to leave us at ease to deal with the commission together with Mr. Hugh Yi and the others. Well, if it isn't Mr. Glenn, long time no see. Would you like to try the food I just made? Rest assured, you won't be carried into the emergency room again like last time. What's wrong? You don't look so well.
Is your teacher... Ah, no. Is Mr. Ultramarine escape at home? I'm sorry, what the kind of name is that?
Ah, if it's something you need to see teacher for, then follow me.
Ultramarine escape.
No need, I've been waiting here for a long time. But I've never seen you alone. May I ask what you're here for?
Hello, Mr. Ultramarine escape.
I heard before that your office received a request to go to the library. It appears that things are not looking so bright in your end, judging from the fact that you came here alone.
We failed. Boss took cover for us.
How could this happen? What about Ven? Why didn't he come?
Ven, he's currently staying at the office, but his condition isn't looking too well right now.
Well, it's long overdue. It's only natural that a foolish and pitiful guy like him, with such deep-rooted sins, would end up being buried in the library.
But aren't the boss and you like siblings who grew up together? Why? The cooperation between the Cold Sun office and the Cold Rain workshop has not always been this.
Don't you understand? He really doesn't matter to me anymore. But I have to say, it's a miracle that bruised body of his managed to survive for this long.
If you really don't want to help, then just say no. Why do you have to say such things? You can mock me all you want, but I won't allow you to mock Hugh Yi. He gave his life for everyone. I won't just let that slide, even if you're a color. I'm sorry, what?
I did not make any attempt at mockery, but rather an expression of relief for him. If you cannot understand this much, then there is nothing more for me to say. There is no point in continuing this little conversation. Danding, send this gentleman out. But teacher! Danding, see our guest out. Letting go of your own life just so that your colleagues could escape? That's not fitting of you at all, Is it because death is seen as a way of escaping from one's sin and burdens of the past? How silly, yet amusing. If I could clear myself of my grudge for him just like that, then I'd like to give it a try myself. But I'm sorry, I can't possibly agree to go messing around with the guys you've tried so hard to save anyway. It's really rash of him to keep on going like this. He clearly knows it was all thanks to Yu Yi that he's still in one piece right now, yet he still continues to act so impulsively. I sincerely hope he eventually gives up without my help, but I can't let your sacrifice go down the drain like that. Mr. Glenn, the teacher, he should only just be in a bad mood.
Say no more. I guess this is what Mr. Ultramarine meant. Perhaps I really misunderstood him as a person.
Wait!
Ugh. Sonny, you heartless bastard! I knew I couldn't rely on you. Wait, just you wait! Should have let those guys from the Index tear you apart back then during that time. And the gentleman from the Cold Rain workshop. Boss, you kept on rambling about how he's so important to you, but what did that bring you in the end? I can't blame the others. After all, isn't going to that place just the same as marching towards your own death? Boss, why did you have to go to a place, that kind of place? Now that you're gone, the office is on the verge of collapsing. And that kid Ven. But even if it's just me, at least let me follow after your footsteps. Haha, no way. Who made me a person who would repay such kindness?
Mr. Glenn, we finally found you!
What are you guys?
Everyone knows about what happened at the office. A few of us were handing out commissions not too long ago. Every one of us rushed back once we heard that something happened at the office. Although there were a few ungrateful guys who left the wind and fled at the news, but most of us are here now. Yes, we were also recovering from our injuries, so we're not able to catch up with that last commission. Maybe if we had been there, the boss, he might not have. Everyone went back to the office and proceeded to discuss our next course of action, but then he hid in his room without saying a word. He never even once responded, even when all of us tried to call him out. Later on, when we heard that you went to the Cold Rain workshop, we all went out to look for you. Did you try to ask for help for them? If you're looking to avenge the boss and the others, then with the help from over there.
No, I just went to relay what happened. After all, Mr. Ultramarine has a close relationship with the boss. Everyone, hurry up and take care of that mess at the office. I'll follow shortly after. I just need to sit here for a while.
Mr. Glenn, don't hide it from everyone. Yeah, we just saw the invitation. Shouldn't you... someone like you shouldn't think about going there alone, especially at a time like this. There's still a bunch of his here, right? Mr. Glenn, stop trying to be a hero and take us with you.
You guys are just as stubborn as the boss. Man, even I felt a little sympathetic after seeing him get turned away so many times, even though there's almost no one in this city would... Man, even I feel a little sympathetic after seeing him get turned away so many times, even though there's almost no one this city who would put themselves in danger for the sake of others.
If the rabbit dies, the fox grieves?
More or less, I won't deny it. It's rare to see people these days who would go through such risks for others. Guess I do still kind of miss my previous life as a fixer.
Did you go through a similar experience?
Well, I did have a few like-minded friends.
Nevertheless, the visions presented by the invitations have not yet finished.
Oh man, it's really not over yet? I thought it was finally going to end. When I saw this dude step in, my whole bodies started to wake up when I think about who we're going to face next.
Report! Come in. Seems like we have a lot of guests on our hands today.
This is the first document from the Capo di Capi to be handed over to the Sotto Capo and read by the recipient.
Well now, everyone, head back and reorganize your equipment first. You will be called again soon. I want to go over the letter from the Capo di Capi and deal with some personal affairs. Looks like I'll have to go to the library after all, huh? Even the invitation is ready. How very convenient for that boy Glenn. The order came in at such a crucial moment. As the order dictates, the Capo di Capi will send me to the library to retrieve the books of the previous Sotto Capo Carlo. The invitation of the thumb should not be leaked, and we will definitely carry out the will of the Capo di Capi.
Need to call Glenn? I get the feeling that you're a little worried about him.
No need. People who only know how to rely on the power of others to take revenge will only be a burden. Just do a head count of our elites, and then we'll march to the front line. Teacher, why on earth did you reject him? Mr. Hugh Yi isn't he someone very important to you? There's no need in bringing this up again. I see. Then we'll be handling some work first. Let's get moving, everyone. There's no time for slacking off during work hours. The boss is going back. I bet he's going to make us feel as if our entrails were crushed if he ever comes here again. This weather is really depressing. Does the teacher really have to have the ability to call upon the wind and rain? So talkative. Our work regime doesn't include caring about these things. What's more, isn't the point that there's something different with the teacher today? He looks the same as he usually does. He's clearly not missing any arms or legs. Not on the surface, but on the inside. I can feel it. He was sad. I've never seen the teacher as low-spirited as he is now. I heard that Mr. Hugh Yi was someone who grew up with the teacher together, so it's only natural he would be so sad. Yet the teacher is reluctant to retrieve his book. It just doesn't make any sense. But what is that over there on the table? It's an invitation? Exactly the same as the one Mr. Glenn just brought. So strange, but he clearly wasn't here just now. Mr. Dan Ying, is something wrong? How ironic that I was questioning my teacher's decision just a moment ago, but now I'm the one hesitating deep inside. If I can just be a bit stronger, then maybe I can retrieve the book of Mr. Hugh Yi. This way the teacher can be happy and Ven won't have to take any risks. But even Mr. Hugh Yi fell in the library. Just how am I going to do this? Mr. Dan Bing, we're still here. It's not like you at all to be this pensive now, is it? That's right. Don't forget that the teacher once taught us. A mountain doesn't reject even a speckle of dirt, which is why it can grow to a towering height. The ocean doesn't avoid a meager stream, which is why it is able to reach such an immense size. Mr. Dan Bing, we are like raindrops. We may not be able to do much on our own, but we can come together to form a large pool of water, which is exactly what our teacher has been hoping to teach us, right? So don't isolate yourself. If you want to go retrieve the book of Mr. Hugh Yi, then we're going too. Really? I knew it! Then no matter what I say, Nix, you're all going to come with me, right? Of course! I can't be motivated to work under this weather. That's right. Not to mention, how long have we been staying in this workshop? It's time to go out and get some fresh air. No matter what kind of place we're going to, we should face it together, right? Besides, it is never your will alone to retrieve the book of someone important to our teacher. It's great to have everyone here. Sotto Capo. The squad is accounted for and ready to depart for the library at any time you wish. What do you think about this library? What's wrong? This is not like you. Nobody who ever went to that place came out alive and triumphed in the process. We have to do our best if we are to even have a chance of succeeding. Even the well-equipped and well-staffed previous Sotto Capo got killed in it, so I speculate its interior to be very dangerous. So just on a personal note, I really don't want you to go to such a dangerous place. But I understand this is your only option if we are to achieve this vision you desire. So I swear to follow you to death, as always, until I die. Even if there may be difficulties ahead, I will continue to pave a straight path for you with my own blood. After all these years, you've been by my side since that time. Thank you so much. Remember when you enter the library, caution prevails as always. We do not have any room for mistakes. You must also look after yourself. Of course, that is our agreement, but I would not let any harm come to you either. Then make the signature and get going. Time waits for no one. I'll ask this again. Have you all truly made up your minds? Going there is practically equal to giving your life away. My life was saved for the operator, and only an ungrateful bastard would dare hesitate in a moment like this. Yes, we can't turn our back, even if it means facing our deaths. But regarding Ven, I'm really worried. Maybe we should let him know. No, don't tell him yet. Judging by his current condition, I'm afraid he would just willingly hand over his life there if he were to go to the library again. Let him stay. Just think of it as the boss's last wish. Are you ready? Ready to go anytime. I'm not seeing any issues so far. Try not to make a sound. The teacher shouldn't find out. But it's been so long since I've been outside. I can't think of what to take. It should be enough just to take everything the bosses had prepared for us in advance. Then I'm ready. If you're all ready, then come here and sign your names. Teacher and Ven, wait for me.
I'm out of here. What? I'm out of here. Why are there so many people this time around? Now taking a break is out of the question.
Since these guests were sent by the invitation to come at the very same time, the library will naturally receive them at the same time with 3 floors.
So I can lie down and relax once this is all over then?
Provided that you receive our guests well. This is the first time the invitation has simultaneously invited 3 different groups of guests here. Could it be the will of the invitation? What exactly brings together 3 parties that don't have any common interests here?
Everyone's got their own reasons for this or for that. Just don't bother deciphering delving deeper into things you can't really figure out. Why don't you just cherish the moment instead?
You're right. Get ready to receive our guests.
Alas, we found ourselves here once more. It's only just us, but at least...
Oh, I didn't expect you to actually come. I thought you would be holed up in your nest, cowering in fear.
Sonny? You? How? Don't be so touched. We're not doing this for you. We're simply carrying out the instructions of our superiors.
But hey, maybe it's not so impossible to help your poor little boss out now.
You guys are always as unpleasant as ever. But thanks. It kind of makes me feel better. Just be careful. You got screwed here before, didn't you? After all, we didn't come all the way here to accompany you to fail again.
Mr. Glenn! I never imagined I'd meet you here, and could this person be from the Thumb?
Danding? Why are you here too?
We were very worried about Teacher's condition. I thought that if we could get back the book of Mr. Hugh Yi back, then Ven's condition should also get better.
I know you care about Ven, but this is a really, really dangerous place. Yeah? Wait. Did you really come here without Mr. Ultramarine escape?
If we let the teacher know, he would definitely lock us up.
Ouch, that's really... If he found out that all of you kids came here, he'd probably tear down our entire office.
It seems that your Mr. Operator is still quite popular. Greetings, dear guests. I am the director and librarian of my role's namesake, Angela.
Sonny, be careful.
Many thanks for your sudden hospitality. I hope you forgive me for my shortcomings. As much as I want to have a nice chat here, can we just start as soon as possible? Could this possibly be a slightly more normal person from the Thumb? I prefer not to be bound by my status too much.
Enough with the pleasantries. I don't have the heart to make small talk with someone as cold-blooded as you.
The fact that I'm cold-blooded or not does not matter. Your arrival in this library was all a result of your own decisions. The invitation cannot send anyone here by force. You still don't understand. Everyone, maybe it would be better if we could all just calm down first.
Jeez, be careful later on. The power of this library is really extraordinary.
I have a question.
Hurry up and say it. We didn't come here to chat with you.
Despite the desperate efforts made by your leader to save you from this place, why would you come marching to your deaths here once more?
How can some machine possibly understand the precious connections and the matchless emotions that bind people together? No machine can truly ever have a real heart, even if it acquires a body that is indistinguishable from natural human beings.
We all may have our own reasonings and selfish thoughts for this, but there is no denying that all of us have received his favors at some point. We can't be completely ungrateful and remorseless now, can we? Is that what you truly choose to do? Big sister, if you really can't understand, our teacher is a very good person. Even people like me can be taught something, so maybe he can teach you too. And I happen to have just learned how to cook, so come and play in our workshop if you ever get the chance. I might just have to do so, if there ever comes a chance.
That's all we have to say. Can we get started?
May you find your book in this place.
Well, this sounds like it's going to be fun, especially after, this much cutscene. During this reception, 3 acts will have to be done on 3 different floors. Right. Makes sense. So we have the Thumb. Let's see what they're all about.
Ammo supply, special pistol. At the start of the act, a special page, special pistol is added to the hand. Every time the character exhausts 5 ammunition, restore 1 light and add 1 copy of special pistol to hand. Ammo storage. Acquired ammunition will be stored. At the start of each scene, draw up to 5 ammunition from the reserve. Up to hand limit. When playing a ranged combat page, die gets +1 power, +1 power, +2 power on the first scene. Okay. Bellis. You look like you're just another version of Boris. Total extermination. When using ammunition, make all die on the page roll 2 times. I'm sorry, what? Argent Allegiance. When gaining strength, endurance, protection, stagger protection, or damage up from allies, gain 1 additional stack. Okay. Utmost Loyalty. While this character is alive, Sunny's HP cannot drop below 100. Okay. Sunny. Special pistol, ammo storage. Field Commandery. At the start of each scene, give one of the following effects to all other allies with ammo supply passive. 1 strength, 1 haste, 2 damage up, 1 protection, and stagger protection. Field Orders. At the start of each scene, random order page that can be used on allies with ammo supply passive is added to hand. Can only be used the scene it was added. Inescapable Volley. At the start of each scene, gain 1 protection and stagger protection for every other ally alive. Starting with the 3rd scene and every 3 scenes after, use Suppressing Volley. Right, so what are your abilities? Somber Etiquette. On use, restore 2 light and add 1 random ammunition to hand. On hit, gain 1 attack, 1 protection, stagger protection next scene. Shock Round. I think you're the exact same as the normal one. Bayonet Skirmishing. Draw 1 page and add 2 random ammunition die to hand. Summary Execution. Discard up to 2 ammunition from hand and add die from the discarded pages to the dice queue. If 2 pages were discarded, draw 1 page. Firing Directive. If target is not killed, all other allies with ammo supply passive will use 1 random ammunition against the target. On hit, leave mark on this target for this scene. Full Salvo. Discard up to 3 ammunition from hand. Boost the max value of offensive die on this page by +2 for each ammunition discarded this way. On hit, if frost ammunition was discarded, inflict 2 bind next scene. If flame ammunition, inflict burn. If armor piercing, inflict fragile. Suppressing Volley. Die on this page are unaffected by power loss or gain and are recycled for every other living ally with the ammo supply passive. Up to 3 times. Huh. So kill someone in the first couple of scenes. You've got the exact same except for this. Eliminate the hindrances. Discard all ammunition from hand. If target's HP is at... target's HP is at 5 plus the amount of ammunition discarded by this page, percentage, or lower, instantly kill the target. So, up to 10%. Right. Interesting. And then you've got all the same abilities too. Right, Well, the thing is, you're using a bunch of guns. Which in turn means I probably want to use, like, the Yesod floor, because it's all about singular, really powerful dice. But there's also the option of the Cheesehead floor, just because of super armor. But then again, we also have to remember the fact that we don't know what's ahead of us, either. So, I'm just gonna go with the solid Yesod floor, because we know they're all about... whatchamacallit. Okay, so here we are. They have all their weird and special abilities. If I remember rightly, you can't take damage with you, where are they? With you alive. Yes, Sunny cannot die. So, I guess one of the first things we can do is basically just see how this ends up going. I also just realized you basically got max speed on everything. Screw you. Okay, Team Yesod. Team Yesod, let's see how you do on your first round. Considering they're meant to be about guns and they're not using any this round, and you're all meant to be about, you know, like, big, heavy, single attacks. yeah, you add extra attacks, don't you? Also, how are you rolling so high? Oh yeah, blind fire, bonus power the very first round. Christ. Okay. Okay. Well, we initially just got pecked. You know what? I'm gonna get Photon Barrier for the light construct, just because I don't trust what her mass effect is going to... mass attack is going to be. How are you unable to do anything? Did you not you didn't level up. That is hilarious. Alright. Let's give this a go. Next round. I'm glad you're immortal. And someone is staggered already. Oh, bloody course. Oh, and this is the round you do this, isn't it? Dice on the page are unaffected by power loss or gain and are recycled for every other living ally with the... Oh! So this guy's dead. Of course, I mean, a fucking course. Ooh. Yeah, this is the time to play this. Can take at most 10 damage from single attack. I mean, you're still going to be taking a goddamn ton of attacks, but still. Okay, let's give this a go. Right, fuck you. Fuck you. I love how you had 4 attacks and only 1 passed. Hopefully you're dead. Okay. Okay, let's hope, go and pray. Whack. And whack. Ow, not what I needed. Screw you. How? Okay, one of theirs is staggered now. Yay. I honestly don't know if I want Solemn Lament or the Grinder more right now. If I get the Grinder, I can probably kill you and maybe stagger you. But if I get Solemn Lament, I definitely stagger you. I'll get the Grinder. Alright, something just happened and I don't know what it was. What do we got? Dice on targeted page are unaffected by paralyze or game. Immobilize target, very nice. You know what, I'll take the stagnant time and immobilize them, please. Are you doing the big thing this turn? You're not! That means go peck yourself. Oh, I'm sorry. Have you suddenly turned into little whatchamacallit? Can use ego page checkmate. The page's queen, rook, bishop, knight are added to ego list. Okay. Checkmate. When clashing against a manually selected target this scene, all dice gain +3 power. Only one of the chess piece pages can be played per scene, and once a chess piece page has been used, it cannot be reused until all 4 have been utilized. Fair, it's kinda like the triangrams right here. The first speed die becomes the queen die for this scene. Combat page slotted on the queen die gain the following effect. First die on the page gains +3 power and destroys the opponent's next die upon winning a clash. Offensive die gain +1 power, defensive die gain +2 power. Rook. First speed die becomes the rook die. First die on the page gains +3 power and destroys the opponent's next die upon clashing. Bishop. +2 defensive power. Knight. In a clash, destroy the first offensive die on the opponent's page. Okay, cool. Cool. You know, that's kind of brilliant. You royal forking attacks him instead of him. I love that. Okay, guys. Let's see how this ends up working. Let us go. Hyung-yu. I like how you rolled the absolute minimum numbers. Stagnant time, be immobilized. No goddamn whatchamacallits for you, big mass attacks. Glorious, okay. And now we clean. And solemn lament. Oh, I just realized you're about to die because of all the bleeding. Wow. Alright, let's see what happens this scene. I'm kind of saving my energy. Yep, bleed. And... how did they die? I thought they still had, like, 60 HP left. Well, either way, I want to see this. So let's see this in action. Chunk. Without you in my vision, then what's the point of it all? Aww. Well, now I'm in a weird situation where I'm not allowed to lose. So... crap. What are we against? Locked potential. Alright, we know that one. Somber Icy Night. When using a page against lower speed, gain 1 speed. Gain 1 whatchamacallit. Okay. Rapid Execution. After 3 successful hits in a row with slash die in one scene, draw 1 page and gain 1 haste and strength next scene, once per scene. Kizuna. After an ally dies, gain 1 strength and endurance each scene for the rest of the act. Up to 2 times. Okay. Lone Fixer. Noted. Vengeful Heart. At the end of each scene, if HP is not full, gain 1 strength, endurance, protection, and stagger protection. When an ally dies, gain 1 strength and endurance next scene. Okay. Steadfast Preservation. If there are other living allies, this character's stagger resist cannot drop below 1. Gain counter die, block 4 to 7, equal to the amount of living allies on combat start. Ah! I hate you. Cold Sun Fixer. Vengeful Heart again. Fearlessness in the face of death. Upon taking what would be a lethal blow, nullify all damage and all damage for the rest of the scene. At the start of the next scene, fully recover stagger resist. Start using special page. Sacrifice each scene. Oh god, I don't like the sound of that. Right. What are you, then? Unlock Swift Trace. Die on this page and the page clashing with it unaffected by power loss again. Okay. Multi-slash. Okay. Revolving Blades. On Clash lose, add 3 power, inflict bind and bleed next scene. Execute. Frost Blades combo. If speed is higher than target's by 3, recycle this die 1 more time. I like pages which recycle die. It's such an unused mechanic. If an ally dies while this page is in hand, change its cost to 0. On use, give 1 damage up to 2 random allies next scene. On hit, inflict 2 bind next scene, inflict 1 paralysis next scene. Ephemeral Beauty. Only usable in the Blade Unlock state. If an ally dies while this page is in hand, lower its cost by 3. Honestly, could be worse. The thing is, these office fixers aren't that powerful. They're not the most powerful thing in existence. He will end up being quite annoying, I'm sure. So I'm not sure if I want to use, like, this big team that we discovered that we created for last time. Or whether I want to use Hod. Or Tibereth with all the magic. I'm saving Pinky until the end, just in case. Just in case. You know what? I made this team last week specifically for this floor. Let's use this team. And pray to God I didn't just screw myself. This is in order to repay the boss's kindness, even if we're going to die. I wonder what the status of the what's the status of the other groups. Everyone get ready. Don't underestimate the enemy. I have nothing to say to you guys. Let's get started. Well, they immediately all start with whatchamacallit. Oh! How? I thought that could only be used if whatchamacallit, you had a... Alright, I imagine this is about to be devastating, but let's see what happens. Immediately start with the ballistic barrage on the off chance it works. I mean, you almost worked. Okay. Alright, I think that's good. You're better off not attacking, because you'll take less damage that way. We're using the mass attack, which should just annihilate one of their dice, I would hope. Assuming I remember how this game works, that is. And then you'll take, whatchamacallit, 6 to 8 this way, twice. You have no choice but to deal with that. So, go. Good. One person staggered and gone. That's one way to deal with things. How is everything on so little health? Wait, you had linked, you gained linked last scene. The 2 people which are dead had linked, which means when you did 40 damage to yourself, you basically killed yourself as well. Target on play. Target is forced to target this user this scene. Where combat start. When hit this scene, immediately die. Does that work? With a ballistic barrage? On hit, inflict nullify power and bind 5 bind next scene. Oh yeah, you also used the phasing sieger, which did 8 damage to everyone. That would have also helped. Alright, well let's see. You're gonna blast everyone, which should just instantly kill them before they do anything. So... boom. Boom. Dead. You're now gonna be sacrificing each turn. Everyone is dying ridiculously quickly with this team. And I legit do not know why, because you're now dead, Glenn. And so are you, because you're just gonna bleed, which will instantly kill you. And you're likely going to bleed out too. I legit don't think I need to do anything this round. I can just end game, play end, and we win, I think. Mr. Glenn, how? No! Mr. Glenn is dead! Oh, who cares? You have 1 HP, pecking die. Okay, credit to you right now. You're annoying me now. Oh, you died then. Alright. So, giving, the demon, linked, might be a little powerful when he has the ability to just do 40 HP damage to himself. It might be a little powerful. Anyway, let's look at you guys then. Dang Ding, Cold Rain Sensor. When hit, inflict 1 bind next scene, once per character per scene. Use special pages to light the sensor. When the sensor is lit, all die gain plus 1 power, and use page Frigid Hailstorm can be used. Okay. Frosty Fog. On a successful hit with offensive die, if the target has bind, deal +1 stagger damage and inflict 1 paralysis next scene. Not bad. Cold Rain Workshop. On a successful hit with offensive die, inflict 1 bind to a random enemy next scene. Liberation of Nature. If ... Oh, don't come up with that to me, please. Gazelle. Also has a sensor. Immediate repairs. Okay, fair. Do all of you have this Cold Rain sensor thing? Right, okay. Immediate repairs. Immediate repairs. And immediate repairs. Alright, so are your cards different at least? Core initialization, +1 light, plus restore 1 additional light if the sensor is lit. Like the sensor, if the character has Cold Rain sensor passive, gain 1 stack each time it is lit. Stack up to 5. When the sensor is lit, all die gain +1 power. Extinguish the sensor. At the end of each scene, lose 1 stack of sensor and lose the status if stacks reach 0. At 5 stacks, stop losing stacks at the end of the scene. Okay. Unattacked, draw 1 page. On clash, win/lose, light the sensor. At the end of the scene. Alright, then. Arctic shielding. Combat start. Draw 2 pages at the end of the scene and do not lose sensor stacks if sensor is lit. On clash win, inflict 1 bind next scene. Sensor preheat. On use, light the sensor at the start of the next scene. If target speed is 1 or lower, deal 3 bonus stagger damage. On hit, draw 1 page if sensor is lit. On hit, inflict 1 bind next scene if sensor is lit. On hit, light the sensor at the start of the next scene if target has bind. Deal 2 bonus damage. Light the sensor at the start of the next scene if sensor is lit. You know, sometimes I feel people put too much text on these pages because they just keep getting smaller and smaller and smaller. This page cannot be used again for 6 scenes on use. Okay, this cooldown is reduced by 1 scene every time the user lights the sensor. On hit, inflict 1 bind next scene. Inflict 1 bind and paralysis next scene, and inflict 1 paralysis, bind, and disarm next scene. Okay. Bust them up. Usable only at +5 sensor. On use, extinguish the sensor. On hit, deal 2 bonus damage and stagger damage, and inflict 1 bleed next scene for every stack of bind on the target. Fair. Dreary downpour. Combat start, gain a counter die. If sensor is lit. On clash lose, take no stagger and deflect damage. On clash lose, take no damage, stagger and deflect damage. Ha. On hit, light the sensor at the start of the next scene. Interesting. Condensing mist. On use. Draw 1 page if sensor is lit. On clash lose, die. Okay. Right. So how are you guys different? Well, you 4 are the exact same. The only differences are they kind of very lacking HP and whatnot you guys have. What I worry about is your if. You can't just have a passive called if ... question mark and not expect someone to get so paranoid that they're thinking, just throw the pinky at it. They can deal with it. But then I have you with 70 HP, you with 90, and all I can think of is that's just torture. That is just unfair to you. You definitely play this as kill them 1 at a time, starting with the weakest 2, then these 2, and then Dan Ding himself. Or herself. I can never tell. But I'm also willing to just say, screw it, let's use Tibereth. We can't rely on the pinky for everything. We use the pinky when we just say, wow, so beautiful. What is all this about? Just take it seriously, you guys. It's so spacious. It's a little different than I imagined. It's reassuring to have partners to fight with. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. Okay, let's see how this ends up going for us. First bang, second bang, next bang and bang. Just keep going. Keep fighting. We don't know what's gonna happen. Right. Blade welted by tears. Well, I'm just gonna give that to you. Sensor 1. Die power +1. Oh, so you gain the you gain the die power even if it's just lit. You know, it's interesting. I kind of look at you guys and think, How did we get so badly on our speed this time? Then I realized, oh yeah, we get bound, we lose speed every time I hit you. Well, I guess I'm just gonna be stacking what protection I can on this person. Okay, guys, go. I'm sure we're about to get at least a kill. That's a fancy animation and a half. Well, that one is going to die. Drastically. Goodbye. Not sweet at all, what a nasty feeling. But they were only a child. This is not the time to be mourning. Everyone, calm down. There has to be a way. We're going to make it out of here alive. It shouldn't be like this. Are you sure you're gonna make it out of here alive? I wouldn't be if I were you. Alright, let's do this. First up... Wait, let's just swap these two around. Bang, bang. That was a lot less dramatic than I thought it would be. I seem to be taking extra damage from somewhere, and I'm not sure where or why. Or whether it's just that some things seem a little oddly delayed. Why aren't you dead yet? Okay, guys, let's see how this round ends up going. First up, Kabloo, and you didn't die. I was expecting that to do a bit more damage, if I'm honest. So that only did the damage once, right? Because it looked like it did it more than once. Right, things are starting to look bad. Namely, because they're attacking my whatchamacallit so much. Why are you attacking her so much? Right. I have one main hope. To keep you alive. And that's the, in name of love and hate, rolls high and you roll low. What's your maximum? 22. What's the maximum you can get? Your lowest is 22. So hopefully it should deny that. And thus you'll only get hit by that, which you should hopefully survive, because we should be killing the other two. Okay? Go! Leave me alone. Melor, don't. This shouldn't be happening. Damn, I didn't buy. Gazar, why? Why did it turn out like this? Alright, chap, you're now staggered. Are you gonna prove to do something absolutely stupid, which I'm gonna hate, or are you just gonna die like a wuss? You're not dying like a wuss! What's gonna happen? What? Blood Fiend form. Well, that was random. At the start of each scene, exhaust all pages in hand and deck. Add new pages to hand. Their cost becomes 0. On a successful hit, recover 2 HP. Boost the maximum roll value of offensive die by +2. Gain 2 counter die slash on combat start. Bust them up and Frigid Hellstorm have been transformed into Grasply, whatchamacallit, and Deathbite. Well... Deathly Grasp. Deal 3 bonus damage for every stack of bleed and bind on the target. Maroon Bite. Recover HP equal to the damage dealt. Inflict bleed equal to the bind on target. You're still not whatchamacallit. Great God fuck. Okay, guys, let's see how this initial go on. You just need to survive a round. Please. For the love of God. Look, the maximum damage it can deal is 31. I should be fine. I just need to break one of those fucking dice. And I didn't. Ow. Ha! Screw your big fancy bite. And staggered. Not staggered. Recovered stagger even. Alright, Mr. Vampire Blood Fiend. There's not much left of you, I see. I have no idea which of these I should grab. I don't think it matters. You're doing a Deathly Grasp and Maroon Bite every single round. Oh, and in addition, you're endured versus everything. Kindly screw off. As we have ourselves an imaginary world. Alright, let's see what you can do against an annihilative dragon. Shall we? 32. Deal 40 damage. I always remember it doing a lot more than that. But that might just be me. So, I give you credit, the random, if, did turn out to be quite the if. I wasn't expecting this. I did that wrong. Not gonna lie, the fact he's just randomly endured to everything is a bit annoying, but I guess that means he only recovers his HP, not his stagger resist. Eventually, we're gonna break through his guard. is what it is. Also, can we just appreciate it's raining blood in Dreamworld? Just simple things like that just make me so happy with how nonsensical this can be. Die, Mr. Vampire Man! It's time for us to end you. With a few too many mass attacks. I forget how long this entire combination takes. This is gonna take a while. Come on. Stagger him. Stagger him. Boom! Staggered. Time to die. Bang. 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 I shouldn't be going down. I shouldn't be dropping on the floor. And yet, why am I losing strength? Reception of Vengeance Alliance. I didn't realize that's what this reception was called. The Vengeance Alliance. Dear God, this is going to be a split into 2 episodes, isn't it? This is either one really long episode or it's been split into 2, given how long this bloody took. Ouch! Those guys were a lot harder compared to the ones I'd previously had to deal with. Guess the other librarians have also successfully finished their receptions by now, right? What's wrong with you? Something on your mind? I still can't comprehend the fact that these people, who should have nothing to do with each other, were all closely connected to that fixer named Hugh Yi. If it was because of the interests, they said, why would they sacrifice their lives for such things? Does it really signify that the bonds shared between humans is so... Hello? Angela? Want to join in Miss Hodd's book club on the floor of literature later? Looks like the other librarians will be going there too. Let's go and have a nice chat together, alright? Maybe you can enjoy the taste of coffee or tea or something else. Then I suggest for you to not get too carried away with your drinking tendencies there. Crap, she found out. But I thank you for the suggestion. I'll check it out later. However, about the guests we received this time. I have a hunch that this story is still far from being over. You're referring to that kid who got left behind? I could see him in the shadows of the exceptional guests we had received before. Well, I guess you're right. The moment he finally calms down and finds out that all of his friends left him without even saying as much as a single word is bound to come sooner or later. Guess we're about to see something all too familiar again. Obviously, I don't want to see such a scene unfold either. Let's hope he never comes to the library again. Why do I feel I'm getting used to this? By the way, speaking of those that got left behind, wasn't one of them a color fixer titled Ultramarine Escape? Are you familiar with this color as well? Not really, but I've heard of the weapons from his workshop. I don't know how the other librarians handled that group of children, but that freezing gas or whatever it was they were giving off should have given them some trouble, no? Yes. It's a weapon made by a color after all. Even I wanted to get one for my wife. Though she didn't seem to like the looks of it too much when I got her one. But seems that this color isn't bound by these so-called ties unlike the other ones. Otherwise, he never would have said those sorts of things. Hard to say. Well, even if he does make his way here, the library as it is now isn't something that's going to be shaken even by a color. Well, I suppose I should thank you then, Roland. Thank you. Why are you saying that all of a sudden? Well, that's not very frank of you. Though, looks like it's almost about time. Now I'm interested how many of those books I actually got. Well, it looks like I got proper books, so it just wasn't showing them properly. So let's take a quick look at all these books that we have now. We got the Cold Rain Workshop. Okay. We have Dan Ying. Okay. Glenn, Bayless, Sunny, and Sunny's bodyguard. And then a whole lot of pages. Can only be used with a Cold Rain Workshop. God damn it. Meticulous preparation, single use. Draw this at the start of the act. On play, light the censer 2 times for all allies this scene. Give Cold Rain Workshop and Frosty Fog passives to all allies. Does not stack. I'm sorry, what? Let's just have a quick look at this. Light the censer 2 times for all allies this scene. Give Cold Rain Workshop and Frosty Fog passives to all allies. So let us take a look at what those were again. Cold Rain Workshop. On a successful hit with offensive die, inflict 1 bind to a random enemy. On successful hit with offensive die, if the target has bind, deal bonus stagger damage and inflict paralysis. So I cast that. Holy Christ, that's stupid. So he now kicks. And you got bound. Because of the Cold Rain Workshop. Also interesting, if your dice convert to, defensive, they actually immediately convert. They still count as offensive for terms of passives. That I didn't know. Either way, wow. Oh, interesting. That's a interesting way to do your special form. At emotion level 3 or above, if this character has at least 1 breakdown abnormality page transformed to the special form. I like that way of doing it. Connecting it to the actual ego pages we equip people rather than it involves strategy of placing them where you want, rather than just building them up as quickly as possible. Well, either way, it looks like I've got quite a lot of fun to have. Is there another thing after this, or is that the end of the workshop for now? That's the end of the workshop for now. We're gonna have to wait for those mods to update, and this mod. But that's just what we do. That's what we wait for. But, everyone, I'm afraid I'm all out of time for today's episode, so it looks like, well, what can I say other than thank you all for joining me today? I've been your host, the Parafox Archangel, the English gentleman of the internet, and I hope to see you all again next time. But I'm afraid that, until then, it is time for me to bid thee all farewell, good day, and finally, good night.